What if I told you there's only two things you need to do in order to become that girl? And they're both free. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to read a book. There are just two things you need in order to become that girl. The first is to choose to believe that you are already that girl. It is simply a choice in thoughts. To believe you need to do something, to believe that you need to buy something, to believe that you need to achieve something in order to be that girl is placing conditions on how you feel about yourself. And when we do that and those things change, we lose those things, it shifts how we feel about ourselves will also shift. So the goal isn't to become that girl. The goal is to remember that we already are. It is a choice to believe that you are that girl. Literally, it's just a choice in mindset. The second thing is a little deeper. The second thing is, do you believe you're deserving and worthy of being that girl? If there is resistance, if there is pause, or just that question makes you feel uncomfortable, then that is a signal that you've been programmed to believe that you're not. When you were a baby, you played with your feet, you loved your body, you loved you loved every part of yourself, and you were loud. You would make a ruckus and scream wherever you were because you knew that you were worthy and deserving of your needs. And you weren't programmed to believe that you were less than or that you were other. And through life, we pick up these messages that we're other, that we're less than through media, through adults in our life. And we forget. We literally get amnesia to our worth and our deservability. So this whole concept of becoming that girl is inherently saying that you are not right now. In order to be that it girl, you have to do these things, you have to lose this weight, you have to make this money, you have to have this aesthetic. That is subconsciously telling you that you're not right now with the way that you are. And the most radical thing that you can do in this lifetime is to love yourself and accept yourself and your body the way that it is. That's radical. Literally, I don't even mean to get political or like that, but industries would collapse. Like the beauty industry, the aging industry, the weight loss industry, they would collapse if women just decided, you know what? I'm gonna love myself flaws and all. You know what? I'm not gonna buy that product to subscribe to a beauty standard. And that's not to say don't do your makeup, don't do the things, because I do that too. But am I doing it to prove something, or am I doing it to adorn myself? You know, am I doing it for myself to take care of myself, or am I doing that to subscribe to a standard? Am I wearing the lip gloss that I don't really want to wear because it's what's in, or am I doing things that make me feel good about myself? That is the shift. And so to become that girl is to really remember that you already are. Instead of yearning to become something, it's remembering who you are. That is the point of becoming that girl. So the two things is the choice to believe that you already are, and to remember that you are deserving and worthy as you are right now. Those are the two things to becoming that girl. That's what magnetizes life and a more beautiful life. There are two things that I do want to address. The first is, when I was sitting and thinking about this video, I was like, do men ask themselves this question? Do they go down the rabbit hole of becoming that man? And I will say I do surround myself with quality men. And I can say I've never seen them watch a video on how to become that man. Men that I surround myself with, they are interested in the news, how to make more money, how to solve a problem. They're not concerned with how to become him. Because you know why? They already believe that they are. Men do not ask, like, how do I become this achievable standard? They inherently believe that they are. And the reason why I bring that up is because this notion of becoming her is I feel like a little patriarchal. You already are that girl. You just forgot. It was important for me to address that, to ask that question, knowing that men probably don't even ask that question is inherently patriarchal. And the second thing I want to address is a book that I read on burnout and stress for specifically women. And in this book, there's an entire chapter dedicated to body image and the standards that we put on ourselves in relation to our bodies. In the book, they also talk about back in the 90s, Fiji didn't have television, and they also didn't have a lot of mental disorders and a lot of eating disorders. Then in the mid 90s, they introduced televisions, national television, and there was a spike in women having eating disorders and mental disorders. And I say that to say that consuming a lot of media on what you're supposed to look like, what an ideal beauty standard is, and not critically asking yourself, is this empowering me? Is this helping me become my truest version of myself, can be damaging. And I think there's just a responsibility when you talk about becoming that girl to talk about how that might be damaging to your mind and to your heart. Is it this standard weight? Is this the standard body size? And is it helpful? And it's a nuanced topic, and I know that it's not easy, but I think it's important to address that body image is a large part of becoming that girl. And really, it's about loving and accepting yourself as you are right now. That is what I'm all about. It's how can I love and approve of my body today? Even if I do want to make changes, even if I do want to make improvements, can I love myself more today? Can I be okay with what I look like today? Because when we set things outside of ourselves, we make a gap between our deservability and our worthiness, which then limits our capacity to experience joy and love. And if you place conditions on yourself, if you say, when I have this thing, then I will be happy, there will be a gap in time in which you're not. And you're deserving of joy and love today. And the reason why I made this video is because I love self-development. I love self-help. I love like learning and growing. But at the same time, I'm not a project that constantly needs fixing. I can love who I am today and still make changes and still make improvements. And the irony is, the more that you love yourself today, the more likely you are to make changes. You can grow and change from a place of love instead of a place of punishment. I'll say that again. You can grow from a place of love instead of from a place of punishment. You really can. And you don't need to do anything. You don't need to buy anything in order to be worthy and deserving. You just need to remember that you are. And it's a process, it's a journey, but it's so worthy. And the more that you love yourself, the more you'll want to love yourself and experience more joy, and the more likely you will make changes to facilitate that. So, all in all, you are that girl. You just forgot, and that's okay. This is a journey of remembering the true essence of who you were and that you're so, so loved. So, thank you for watching this video. If it resonated with you, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will be back with more videos on how to love yourself more deeply so that you can experience more joy. Bye.